Squeegee and Ink podcast, episode 6, with Darcy from Downcast Apparel. Hi Darcy, how are you?
Hey, how's it going?
Really good. Well, thanks for coming on.
That's all right. Thanks for having me.
Got an interesting backdrop. What's all that?
It's just bits and bobs from all over the place.
Oh, cool.
I'm just in our office, which is at home. So if you hear any screeching or anything, it's just my son.
He's running around.
Yeah, he's on a bit of a mad one right now, but he's at the other end of the house, so hopefully I shouldn't be able to hear him. But yeah.
So I've just been doing my research on you, and I thought we might have your wife on as well, because you're running this together, aren't you?
Yeah, that was it. It was kind of the plan, but couldn't find a babysitter. So yeah, just me.
That's just you. Does she come in like when it's? But she's on customer service and stuff, as far as
yeah. So she does all like the fulfilling and dealing with customers and stuff like the stuff that I'm no good at, basically. And then I just do the fun stuff, which is great.
Well, it looks like she's doing well, because you've got like almost immaculate reviews on everything, like Facebook, Google, Trustpilot. So
no, we're really happy with that. It's kind of, I don't know, it's not something we kind of actively pushed or anything like that to to get reviews or anything. It just kind of started coming organically, and we're like, oh wow, we're doing something right, aren't we? So we're really happy about it.
Yeah, it's cool. So talk to me about like how you got into screen printing and like I'm pretty sure you were a graphic designer before, because
so I grew up in a pretty artistic family, so I've always like drawn and everything. But before I got into design, I was in the charity sector and just bouncing from industry to industry and just didn't really know what to do. And I basically lost my job and just started drawing again. And I was desperately trying to get a tattoo apprenticeship. That's how all this stuff and kind of built my portfolio and everything, and just couldn't find anything. And I was like, well, I've got to do something with all this shit, haven't I? Like, all these hundreds of designs and stuff. And I was like, oh, might as well just put them on some t-shirts and see if it goes anywhere, sort of thing. And it came from there. And yes, at the beginning we outsourced everything. I didn't even know what screen printing was. So yeah.
When you say outsourced, did you do like a print on demand, or like how?
No. So we just got bulks in, so 50 shirts here and there, which was obviously a big risk, but it's kind of paid off, I guess. And then eventually came to. No, go on. Sorry.
I always think, like you said, it's like a big risk there, but if you can't risk that, it is scary doing that initial order. But if you don't believe in your brand enough to risk that, then I don't know. You obviously don't believe in it enough, so it is hard on the first couple of rounds, for sure.
I think like this. I mean, particularly during COVID and that, because people have been home so much more, haven't they? You've seen a lot of brands popping up, but then they're gone within 3 to 6 months, because it's people are. I mean, they're using like drop shipping and stuff like that, but I don't know. They don't have the stamina is the word. It's kind of. And it's a shame, because it's like you see a lot of brands pop up and it's like, oh, visually they're brilliant in that, but I don't know. I think drive is the word I'm looking for, and it's always like ever since we started it, the plan was to kind of for both of us to be like me and Nixx to be involved and everything. And we're kind of there now. It's still not a full-time living or anything like that. It's still a part-time job for both of us, but it's getting there.
I think because I wanted to talk to you because you've pushed through and you've actually like done a lot of like the concrete steps to make it serious. So like you are like I want to say like proper limited company, not that non-limited companies aren't proper, but that's the kind of like jump that you make when you're like committing to it and you're like, right, we need to like you have to have like separate. I'm guessing you've got like separate bank accounts for the business and you're treating it more like a business.
I had that more or less right from the start, because I didn't really trust myself with the money, to be honest. And it was kind of, I didn't want to be, you know, getting sales and then going, oh, there's my beer money. It was kind of, you know, it was building it up to, you know, for the next design sort of thing. And, you know, we had a bit of help to begin with from family and that, like in terms of properly getting up and running, especially when, so obviously I said we're outsourcing to begin with, and then we kind of made the decision to go, all right, well, let's have a look at like doing it ourselves. It's like, oh, that screen print looks easy. I fucking know. And so we were looking at moving anyway, but we just kind of changed our criteria, I guess, and we wanted somewhere that had like a, you know, like a garage or something like that. And then we found this place that we're in now, and yeah, kind of moved in, bought a cheap Chinese press, which was enjoyable. I've actually still got it.
Have you still got it?
It's just been one of those things. It's like, I need to get rid of it, but I don't know if anybody wants to buy it. So
the brand is eBay. This press.
Yeah, exactly. It's no name. It's orange. That's all I know about it.
All right.
But yeah, that got us through kind of like the first few hurdles and stuff. But then start of what year were we?
2022.
The start of 2021, things really started picking up, and in September we made the decision to basically move out of home.
Right, cool.
So we still have like the office here, and all of the stock, like the printed stock, is here.
In your house?
Yeah. So
like,
in our
how are you organizing that? Because we had to buy like a container. And we're like, oh, this is so much room. This is going to be like 40 lines or something, and it's not. It's like 10, and it's. Or you had to go like, how are you figuring that out?
It's not organized.
It's just like bags or something.
Nixx is like a organizational queen, and it's as organized as it possibly could be, but it's still a fucking shit show. It's she uses like Airtable and stuff like that to monitor everything, and then matches it up.
Airtable, I don't know what that is.
It's a little bit like Excel, but it's all online, and they have like loads of different tools and stuff. It's just like a stock monitoring sort of thing, and it's free. It's quite nice. And then she just matches it up with Shopify once a month sort of thing, just to make sure everything's fine. But so I have nothing to do with that. So before Nixx came on properly, it was she took on all the stock management and stuff like that. She was like, what the fuck have you been doing?
Yeah, but that's where you can get tripped up so easily, because people can order something and you're like, yeah. And then they get really upset if you haven't got it in stock, because that's all down. There's no one else's fault, is it?
Yeah, it happened a couple of times when I was doing it, and it's like, you know, obviously they're let down, but I just felt like I let myself down as well. It's kind of like, what I needed to do was count those fucking shirts, and I didn't. But yeah,
worst thing is you let yourself down. It's so funny.
Yeah, but it really did feel like that, because it was kind of like, you know, A, the customer's been let down because, you know, they wanted this item and it's not in stock, but then B, I'm having to refund them now as well. So it's kind of like, you know, there's a bit of shit, but we've got there in the end with organizing everything. So yeah.
I noticed on your website, and like how you talk about your brand, is like you're coming from like an environmentally friendly kind of like position. How, like, what kind of choices are you making to kind of like show that and back that up in production?
We made the decision right from the get-go to try and be as sustainable as we possibly could be, and that was everything from like the garments we sourced and stuff, right down to like the packaging and everything. Obviously back then, as I said, I didn't know anything about screen printing, and we were outsourcing it all, so we didn't have much control over that. But since we've kind of bought it all in-house, and I just
read the package, can't you? So
yeah. I mean, I was just going to say though, I have nothing against Plastisol. I don't think it's a particularly less environmentally friendly.
Yeah. This is like
a massive misconception.
Yes, on certain scales, so like mine and your scales, like I'm pretty sure you've got like a cruiser. I don't know how do you dry your stuff? How do you cure your ink?
So we've got a little buddy at the minute.
Okay, we're almost identical. I've got like a big buddy and a cruiser.
Yeah.
If I, in my opinion, and I really do want to have this, I'm trying to get this debate with like water-based ink plus or people, but the way we're having to cure the ink, water-based ink in particular, we're having to put it through like maybe once, twice, three. You might put it on the heat press for over a minute. So I think the heating side of it is outweighing, like I can just put it through I can put plaster through that once and it's cured. So I get that it's vegan certified, a lot of the really good water-based inks like Magma Colors, for example, but a lot of those water-based ones, just because they've got the word water in them, doesn't particularly mean anything to me. So,
I completely agree.
But
I think
the feel of water-based ink is just awesome. It's beautiful.
Yeah, it's great. We're in the process of switching over to Magna now.
Oh, really?
I was speaking to Sarah from Heck Press, who was
Oh, cool. She knows a lot about it. So yeah, she does. So yeah, we're doing that, which I've been looking to switch over from what we're currently using for a while because it's just not great. But yeah, so we only really print water based. I've messed around with plasticine a little bit, and I just didn't really get on with it. That's like the only reason for kind of sticking with water based. It's kind of like I would like to do more with plasticine because, you know, we're a clothing brand, but we're also trying to kind of push like the printing service side of it. Oh, right. That's what I was going to ask you about that. Like, so you're going to be printing for other people a bit more?
Yeah, we have done for a little while, but it just where Downcast picked up so much, that just dropped off a cliff. And now we had a few slow months with Downcast, and it was kind of like, oh shit, we should probably like try and diversify a little bit, because it's like, you know, if customers stop coming to us to buy t-shirts or whatever, we're fucked.
Basically. You've got to keep all as many of these like little income streams in as possible, I think. Yeah,
exactly. So so we're trying to build that up very gradually. But it's just, I don't know, people. I think it's great, and I was guilty of being somebody like that knew nothing about screen printing. So it's kind of like you just assume it's like you send a design off and it gets printed. That's it. You don't know the ins and outs of it and kind of like the difficulties and stuff. And it's kind of like, oh, there's a color for every screen, or every on screen.
I see what you mean. Yeah, so you've given me a 10 color and I've only got a 6 color press.
Exactly. And
it's going to hurt my brain figuring this out.
So it was. I think that's been our kind of my main obstacle, because I've been just dealing with that side of it. I've not involved Nixx in it really yet. Like long term, she'll be doing all the quoting and stuff like that. And it's just really frustrating.
It's so funny. I don't know if I've spoken to anyone who's gone from like having their own brand to then printing for other people. Everyone's always like, you print for other people and then you're like, oh my god, I wish I could print for my own brand. And it's like this fantasy project on the side that takes so much effort to put your focus towards. But I know what you mean. It's about cash flow. It's about you have to sustain yourself, and so it's very, very tricky. So you said you've got all your screen print in house, but you still have embroidered garments. Do you still give that out? Or
So the things like beanies and stuff like that. So there's an embroiderer down the road from us that we use. Then things like our socks. We have them manufactured from scratch. Using it's materials that would have ended up in landfill, basically. So it's like upcycled materials and stuff, and then upcycled thread to embroider and everything. But we've considered bringing embroidery in house, but it's just, I don't know, for the time being, I was like, I just wanted to focus on the print side and just become the best printer that I can be, sort of thing.
Awesome.
So you're always going to have something more to learn. It's like, I think anybody who goes, I've completed that, you know, with screen print, it's like you're bullshit, mate. Like, you know,
you might have stopped bothering learning because you're getting by day to day, but you're never gonna you shouldn't stop learning or adapting.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's why, like, you know, listening to I don't really watch much because it's kind of, you know, in the early days I did, like, you know, your cat spit and all that. Those guys were fucking awesome. But now it's kind of, it's just more about just like listening to podcasts. Like, you know, I'm so glad that you started one as well, because it's like one in the UK, obviously. Church Show.
Yeah, Church Show
Those
is
guys
awesome.
are
Like,
awesome.
yeah, I went on Church Show too, but they're just talking about stuff, and I'm like, I don't know what that is.
Yeah.
Like, what's that bit? And I was like, there's so many cool printers in the UK that we could be talking to, so why not? Yeah.
Yeah, they had what was it? There was the emulsion guy who went on there a few weeks ago.
Oh my god, I watched all of that one.
Just like, what the fuck is all this?
Did you feel your screens?
Literally.
Everyone's touching up their screens. Yeah, it's okay, don't worry.
No, it's good stuff. It's good stuff.
I know. Yeah. All that geeky shit is just like, that's like my television.
Yeah.
people watch YouTube like TV now because TV is so shit. Like, especially like our generation and younger. I don't know if you think you're a bit younger than me, but our generation and younger are they're just living on YouTube channels, and that kind of like, that's their entertainment. So yeah,
I don't get it.
that's where it's going. Okay, let me talk about some of like the most like standout things about when I was looking about your website and your Facebook is like your photography.
Mm-hmm.
Is it like, how are you getting it just looks like a beautiful portfolio. There's like nothing shitty in there at all. So like, how are you keeping that standard? Like, are you a photographer like on the side, or how are you getting the models? Or
the majority of that, so in the beginning, we basically would just send like loads of stuff out to models and just be like, can you take us some photos? And probably 50% of what came back was just absolute shit.
Really, I've thought about doing it,
and it was really disappointing. But then we kind of persevered with it a bit and just started building relationships with like literally a handful of people. And you know, you go through our Instagram or whatever now, and it's like, it is all the same people just on repeat sort of thing, but it's like we just work with them on such a regular basis that it's, you know, we trust them and they trust us. Like, they like our gear, and you know, and we basically just send them stuff, and they take photos for us. Some of it we do in a house. That's something Nix's been doing. She's a hell of a lot better at photography than I am. I've done a bit of modeling because I'm the pretty one.
Is it your knees that are I didn't mean to disregard that you're the pretty one. I was just asking, like, who's the guy with the knee tattoos? Is that you, or is that like a outside model person?
That'll be an outside model. My knees aren't tattooed yet, so that's probably
I'm pretty sure I've seen him around, because that's like, whoever gets to the tattooist first is getting something like that. It's either me or him, but we've got to like get our appointments in first, because we nick each other's ideas.
Brilliant.
I've seen you guys modeling. I think you modeled like your own beanie hats or something on the website.
I did. Yeah. My claim to fame.
I'm like a sleuth, by the way. Like this like detective. I know that you've got like the most interesting middle name in the world and just loads of stuff. Are you going to tell people about your middle names? Is there anything to that?
I'll tell you my full name if you like. It's Darcy Mac Reggie Eastwood Freeman.
How awesome is that?
Yeah,
it's like you're going to get
in the world.
Yeah, you're not going to get mixed up with anyone if you get arrested, are you?
No, well, no. I mean, most of the time when I like email people and then like have a phone call later, say if it's a client, I always pick up and it's like, oh, I thought you were a woman. It's like, no, it's like a unisex name, mate. Like, no, don't start that. I was called Darcy before all the 5-year-old girls are now, right?
Yeah, that's true. I know a Jodie as well. And I did expect a woman, and then there's like a 7-foot man, and it's like, shit, this is not, you got to like preempt yourself, haven't you? You got to prepare yourself for meeting these people. So it's really interesting you're saying about that sending out to influencers thing, because I can see that being really tempting. I almost did it.
Yeah.
But then I think the idea of
burn, I'm not going to lie. We have been burnt a few times, but I think now the people that we work with and kind of like the rich relationships we've got from doing that just outweigh, and they just cancel out the times that we have been fucked over. So really
it's like the price you pay, like the ones that didn't work is just the price you pay for finding the ones that do, kind of thing.
Exactly.
Cool. And then like from setting up your studio and stuff, like how did you transition from going from the single arm press to like thinking, God, I'm gonna get, because you got the cruiser, because I've seen its little legs poking out the back of some of your posts.
Love that.
I know, it's fucking awesome. How did you like, that's a big investment, isn't it?
Massive. So we started out on a little single arm thing, just doing single colors and that, which is, I mean, a lot of what we do still is like single color stuff, just because when I first started printing, I obviously had to adjust my designs to just work in single color, and I just haven't really moved away from it. I've just gotten so used to designing like that, it's kind of become my style, sort of thing. But anyway, we went from a single color to a 4-color single station tabletop press, which is the one I was saying about, the horrible orange thing. And then basically in September, an opportunity came up. There's a farm just over the road from us, and they had one of their units come up, and it was like just too good a deal to turn down. It was, ridiculously cheap, the perfect space, and it was like no business rates because it's on an agricultural property.
Really? Oh my God.
It was like, and it's literally 5-minute walk from my house. It's like,
sorry, I need to look into that. And there's an agricultural clause, so there's no business rates.
I'm pretty sure that's what it is. I know that we don't pay any business rate. So.
Like cash.
Yeah, literally. It's great.
Don't say that. Don't say that. Maybe that's fine. Maybe that's fine. Don't want to get you on the shit.
But so it came up, and we were kind of just like, we don't know what we're doing, but we should probably just go for it because it's there, and this particular unit hadn't come up for, I think it was 12 years. The previous people were in it for, and they only have like 5 units or something there. It was just that, the stars aligned and all that bollocks. And then we were kind of like, we should probably like start upgrading a couple of bits, and basically just borrowed money.
Because this press looks stupid in this space.
Yeah,
you're like,
it was literally that.
Match.
Like, it was, it's like we're gonna have to like box off like the room and build walls just to make the press look bigger, like
little mini.
But so it's the transition from that to the cruiser, and put it together for about 3 days. Which was,
you did it yourself? No, I got the guy to come. I can't remember his name, which is annoying, but he was like, that's all he does all day is just put them together. I'd definitely recommend that. I
was on the phone to the guys at Screen Print World, and when I was putting the center shaft bearings on, and they're so tight they wouldn't go on, and I was just like, for fuck's sake, I was absolutely raging. I was like, fucking wrong, it's not working. I called them up and I was just like, what's the fucking deal with this? I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on.
Do you feel bad now that you got it on?
I called them up and apologized afterwards. And eventually it went on. Just required a lot of grease, and
that's really funny.
But
I saw that. That's really funny. So you can expand into this space now. Is it big enough to like for you for a few years?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think probably the shorter term plan is like, if Downcast kind of carries on the way it's going, that's fine, because like we've got the time in the week mapped out for it, sort of thing. But if the printed business, the screen printing business is called Inky Cow Screen Print Co.
Oh right, I didn't know that.
And so if that picks up enough, the idea is obviously to get somebody in first, washing screens and screens, doing all the dirty work, and then I don't know, see where it goes. Maybe get a second manual. There's room
see
in there
which
for a
one.
second manual.
Yeah, I think this seems like a good idea, because now you can like see which one works out the best, but in the same
exactly.
space. So you're using the same materials, same equipment, same staff. Yeah, that seems, it's kind of what we're doing.
Yeah,
because everything, like, you can't separate the ink, you can't separate the space or the equipment, but it is technically two separate companies.
yeah.
I think it's clever. So like, what would your, like, how are you stocking? I mean, like, have you got any like stockists or stuff for Downcast, or are you just doing it all on the website? Or
no, so we've been approached by a few like shops and stuff like that. Yeah, it's just all direct through the site. It's you know, doing a bit of wholesales is something we'd be interested in doing, but kind of like, I think it has to work for us as well as the people that are approaching us, and we just haven't had that person or business yet.
What kind of thing would be like ideal for you, do you think?
I don't really know, to be completely honest.
Is it the percentages, like they have to take like 50% and all that kind of stuff? Or?
Not even necessarily just that. It's kind of I don't know. So like in the States, you have like there's a website, and they also have a shop called Zumiez, whatever they're called. Have you heard of them? No. And they basically really stock just stuff like us. But we don't have that over here. Like the closest you probably come is like Urban Outfitters.
Yeah.
I know obviously they're a massive organization, but it's kind of trying to find like the independents like that. Like, you know, so we're going to be approaching like a few like skate shops and stuff like that. Because that's just kind of like, it's, you know, it has to fit into our story while we're doing it. It's kind of like, you know, we've had like random men's clothing shops approach us and be like, oh yeah, can we buy like 100 t-shirts at like cost price or whatever, and like, you know, all this,
it doesn't fit
no, and it's like, you know, they're always nice about it and stuff, and it's nice to be approached, but it just doesn't make any sense our stuff being in somewhere like that, because they're probably not going to sell it, or if they do, it's going to take them a fucking long time because they're aiming it at the wrong people. And then we're just down on stock that we could have otherwise sold at full price.
Have you ever like considered any of the market stall type things, or like festivals? And because you'd do really well in a band, like a music festival, right?
It's something we're looking into. We've done markets and stuff, and I don't know, markets, because we're just outside of Brighton. And we expected a bit more from the markets, like kind of they were just a bit, you know, we did all right, but we kind of just expected a bit more, if you know what I mean. But the festivals are something we're looking into hopefully this year. So looking at like Slam Dunk and festivals of that sort of size.
Because the big boys, they want festival experience, but you're like, I get it. They need like a plan, so you're not just like trying out Glastonbury as your first one and you just get overwhelmed and stuff.
Well, my background is in events, so that's the card I'm going to pull and be like, I've worked events like this before, so
just throw some of the lingo out there. I don't know events lingo, but you can
exactly. So
make something up.
It's
get a better rate on a corner stall or something. Can't think of anything, but
it's on the list. It's on the list. It's coming, if not this year, probably next.
I know you're from Brighton, but have you moved down there? Like, is that where you're choosing to live, or is this where you've ended up, or like?
I've lived all over the place, but yeah, I'm from Yorkshire, but moved to France when I was young. And then the Midlands, and then London, and then just eventually made my way down here, and I've just never left.
How come you ended up in France? That's so like, I just don't know that, do you?
My parents moved over there.
Oh, I see. Okay. Not you're like, oh, I just want some
no. No, it's a slower lifestyle pace over there, but it's not for me. I prefer it a bit quicker. So
I went to school in West Sussex, and then I moved up to Huddersfield for uni. So we've kind of like moved from the other ends of the country at the same like
whereabouts did you go in
opposites? Christ Hospital. If you know it, you know it. It's like a boarding school where they wear Tudor outfits and march into lunch.
I went to boarding school as well.
Did you? Okay,
Yeah.
because people think that means I'm posh, but it's actually like a charity boarding school where we got.
I was sent there because I was an arsehole, basically. So, yeah.
I don't think I was the last time, but we all got sent there. There's so many of us. I can understand why we all got popped away in the countryside for a few years during our teens.
Yeah.
Just stay there. So you were like proper boarding, like months on end, or because there's day boarders, and that's not boarding.
It's not boarding. That's not boarding.
That's like going around. That's a sleepover at best.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah. Proper boarding, you need to be a bit messed up, and all the shit that goes on with that. So how are you gonna like go about finding this? I know it's like a bit hypothetical at the moment, but onboarding your first like staff member is quite scary. Like, how are you gonna like pick a friend, or do you think you'll put a job posting out, or?
So we've already spoken to one of our best mates who's kind of she's mainly in the pub trade, but she's kind of still flitting about, just trying to find what she wants to do.
Yeah.
So we've already spoken to her about it and said, like, you know, it was supposed to happen last year, but it just kind of didn't pick up to quite where we needed her. And
no one's going out, are they? They're not going out, so they're not buying shirts. So that's probably
but yeah, so we've spoken to somebody about it, and she's keen, and so that's kind of the plan. Like, if in the meantime she gets a job or whatever, then we'll probably just put something out and see who turns out.
And then for like Inky Cow, how, like, what is like an ideal customer for that? Is it going to be like local businesses and just people in the local area, or are you going to try and stick to more of your like your interest groups, like the music and the skateboarding and stuff?
I mean, I think we'd like to try and stay as close to that as possible, but thus far we haven't had any inquiries for stuff like that. The majority of the inquiries we've had have been for like breweries and pop-up food places like pizzerias and stuff like that, which is really cool still. So it's kind of, I don't know, there's so many breweries around there. And
bloody go for it. Breweries are ideal customers. They've got cash. Like, I don't know, I'm just going to sound like really arrogant, like that's stupid, but I feel like they put in, it feels like they've got cash to burn, because they really invest like heavy in merch and stuff. They can see it as much of a use for like, as like bands having band merch. These microbreweries especially are really like branding themselves like that now.
So we've had a couple of local breweries that we've done a bit of printing for already. And it's kind of, I don't know, we were talking about it the other day, and it's kind of like, I guess in the beginning it's like getting enough customers in that kind of niche to just get recognized, and people go, oh, he's just up the road, he does like printing for these guys. And it's just, at the minute, it's just trying to get to that stage. And that was kind of like one of the things that I wanted to like ask you, if that's all right. It's kind of like when you got started, because obviously you've been printing a lot longer than I have. Like, what, like, I know I've heard you say like that you just did everything and anything sort of thing, but how did you kind of find like what you actually wanted to do sort of thing? How did you find those clients?
So I did start out teaching like 100% of the time, and then I got asked to do all the random commissions. And then I got my single arm press, and I started printing t-shirts, and there's nothing like printing your own artwork and putting it in a frame is one level of awesome. Printing your own t-shirt and then putting it on, going down the pub, and like someone go, fucking hell, that's a nice t-shirt. I'm like, that's just awesome. I've made this. I actually print this. That's really, really cool to me. So then I basically moved out some of the flatbed stuff, moved more and more and more into t-shirt printing. And then I did get bogged down in a lot of work which I wasn't interested in doing. So like even the designs weren't, I can't really complain, because it like kept us going for those few years.
Yeah, I think you
But
need those every now and again, don't you? But
yes, so those just kind of came naturally, but I actively sought out certain customers, and what I used to do is, what I'd still do now if I wanted one in particular, I just make them a goodie bag, and then I go and visit them, and it works every time, 100% of the time. So like, get their logo. It's pretty easy to do. You're like a graphic designer. Even get the embroidery file made. Get like all the things that you're good at doing. So we had like stickers in there, like embroidered cap. We went to town, like got their own t-shirts and hoodie, and put it in a duffel bag, which is embroidered. That type of level of.
So put their branding on some stuff you made.
All of it, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because then they don't even have to think.
Yeah.
And then you've got the prices for all that stuff, so that's all sorted. Everything that you're giving them is stuff that you want to be printing for them, so there's nothing ridiculous. So they can literally go, well, I like these t-shirts, I want 20 more of them. And that actually happens. So I've done that quite a few times. Yeah, I've done it for breweries, especially because they're like what we were focusing on before COVID. Yeah, it worked every time. And then the double benefit of the breweries is that now we've kind of got like a relationship with them. So now we can bring like Blind Maggot and do like pop-ups outside the breweries.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Alongside their food trucks and stuff. So that's how we're gonna, like, we're trying to do like an event a month with like some kind of market or something. And the high street is fine, but it's not very cool. So it's like we're like the only ones there next to the veg and the pottery and stuff, which is cool, whatever. We know loads of people, but yeah, you want to be in, in the scene, don't you? So that's what I do. I just hunt them out and then keep badgering them until they become a customer. Nice.
I will be doing that. I'll be taking that and stealing it from you.
Yeah. Also, this sounds really funny, but it works a treat as well. Do you have your own like Inky Cow hoodies? Just wear them in the pubs.
Yeah.
That's it. And as long as they say like screen print on them really big, someone in the pub just chatting to them, just making those like conversations, and that's also it. Because you'll be the first person they think of when it comes to merch.
Yeah.
In their next meeting or something. Yeah.
Fair enough. Thank you.
No problem. I'm quite glad you're like getting into the Magna Colors as well, because I've got the stuff over there, and I was just talking to them the other day, and I'm going to try and arrange a visit to go, and do you know you can visit them? And
yeah.
Where
are they though? They're not Barnsley or something.
Something like that. I just think of anywhere past the M25 is up north, and I'm like, I know I'm going to be sat in the car for a few hours, so I'm just going to take it. But yeah, no, I'll be excited about that one. Factory tours are the most fun thing in the world.
Yeah.
If you're a complete geek. What about like tattoo conventions for you as well? Are you interested in that?
They'd be great, but they're just so fucking expensive. It's Brighton Tattoo Convention is next month, like the 18th or 19th or something like that. But it's like to get a stall, like you're having to fork out like $1,000.
Do you think you'll get it back though? I suppose. I don't know,
because I mean we've been to the convention pretty much every year prior to when my son was born. We haven't been for a few years now. And
hasn't been on, has it? Hasn't been on either.
No, well, yeah, that as well. That little thing called COVID.
You blame it on your kid though. You're like, these the reasons.
But yeah, we saw clothing brands there like every year, and they were just always dead. Like there was never anybody at the stalls, and it was like, I don't really want to risk that. Like a festival's kind of like something a bit different, because we're just in. Not that I wouldn't enjoy being at the tattoo convention, but I'd enjoy being at festival more. Yeah, I don't know. It's something we've kind of shied away from a little bit, just because like I feel like it's a little bit of a cliche as well. Like, yeah, we do like the tattoo inspired stuff, but it's like that's not necessarily just what we're about. Like, we kind of want to be more in like, I guess, the general kind of like streetwear sort of thing. rather than just that little niche of like, oh, we're doing tattoo inspired stuff, because it's like every other brand out there is doing it now. You know, and it's great, but it is massively oversaturated. So it's kind of trying to find other things that we can branch out to, I guess. And you know, I've been working on like my designs and trying out like new styles and stuff, and maybe like moving away from like not completely moving away from it, but kind of just trying different styles out and everything, and just see how it goes. Like, you know, the really like brand stuff has always worked for us, but you know, I'm so used to drawing all that stuff now. I just want to kind of test myself a little bit, because I do probably 95% of the designing for everything we print. And we like, sometimes we buy a few designs and everything, just if there's something really fucking cool that we want. But yeah, so it's kind of
even that industry's blown up, hasn't it? Like with all the like Fiverr used to be a bad word in design, but now actually there are some pretty decent people on there. They're just proper designers, but just working off their own back independently instead of
exactly.
It's something that we're pushing away from as well, because it's easy to go into the tattoo designs, but there's not like enough interest in it at the moment. I feel like the bigger people have kind of they've run with that look for so long. If you put yours next to theirs on Instagram, for example, they can't differentiate you and them, which is quite tricky. So
we had it a little while ago. We had a larger brand, shall we say, accusing us of plagiarism and saying we were copying them and all this bollocks, and it was like there was no similarities in the designs whatsoever. It was the product.
It's like traditional tattoos. That's the point.
Exactly.
It's like
and
me and you probably have the same tattoos. Anyway, so wrong.
But we were just kind of like, fuck off. Like, you know, I don't know what you want me to say here. It's like, we haven't, quite obviously. All you have to do is look at the designs to see that they are not the same, even in the slightest. I think the issue was it was a very similar product with a similar sort of design, but it's just kind of like last year. I'm not going to say what it was because it might be apparent who it was, and I don't like falling out with people. But last year, kind of this design that we did was kind of all the rave sort of thing. So it's kind of like everybody was doing it, and they just picked on us, and I was just like, "Fuck you, mate!" But yeah, so it was it's one of those, I think, design niches where there is only so much you can do as well. Like, you know, everybody's done a panther or a leopard or a fucking spider or skulls and all this, and it's kind of you can't really go anywhere else with it. It's like, you know, you can mess about with those ideas and make them a bit weird and stuff, but that's one of the advantages that you've got to actually printing your own stuff, and especially hand printing your own stuff, is that you can do difficult shit that they can't do. And like there's so many avenues there that you can explore. So like you can do your own like nylon jackets just by swapping out the ink, or like I'm looking into a lot of like specialist inks at the moment, because just to try and differentiate ourselves. You guys were doing like the puff ink, weren't you?
Yeah, we did puff. I'm trying to learn high build, which is like an entire topic. I'm going to get into all of that, because I've got them all sat on shelves and stuff, and like, do you know, they just don't work themselves into normal customer jobs. So you've got to like, but that's why our situations are really cool, because now we can work them into our brands and do all those unusual things. So
it's cool as well. That like if you have like the speciality stuff, and kind of like, if I don't know, do you get customers coming to you, like to the studio?
Used to get walk-ins. We still kind of do get walk-ins, but they don't. I want to say walk-ups because we don't let them in. They just get to the door and then they're out.
They're just there hiding behind the desk. Back off.
They might get a business card of someone else most of the time, but
fair enough. I was just about to say, it's like, it's quite nice, like even if you have stuff printed like that, like I like doing it where I mean, we don't get that many people walking in because we're on a farm, so it's kind of like, but the odd customer that's local, or like there was one a few weeks ago that owns a brewery, And we were talking about like the garment options and stuff like that and what we do. And I was like, you know what, why don't you just come down and like feel the hoodie for yourself, and just decide there and then, sort of thing. And it's kind of like, it was really nice doing that, because it kind of like eliminated all the fucking back and forth over email or on the phone and stuff.
How's the Excel?
Yeah.
You're not even started on this journey yet, apparently. You have started on it, but you just did the biggest sigh that you'd normally do like 5 years in doing customer work. It's the biggest sigh ever.
The thing is I love talking to people.
I know.
I'll fucking sit here and talk to you all day. Like, you know, I can literally talk all day and all night. And it's like, so, I mean, I know, I mean, I used to do bar work. And it was kind of like, when you're in bar work, obviously you get the odd customer that it's like you just get talking to for hours.
I know.
Like, just leave me alone now, please. And I'm waiting for that client.
They'll find you. They'll find you.
Yeah, I know they will. They're probably like lurking outside or something now, aren't they? Yeah, so I'm not looking forward to that. Yeah. But yeah, I do like talking to people. So
that's like I like to talk to people on a market, but I don't want someone coming in talking to me while I'm on press, because I'm the only person in here and I've got to like turn my heaters off because I know they talk for an hour.
Yeah. So, do you have like a front desk that's like separated or not?
We've got like a front room, which is kind of like a big chunky hall, which we've got our rails on, and they used to be sample rails, but now they're just our own brand stuff, because no one's allowed in, so they can't be feeling the tops. I don't know, it sounds super antisocial, but we're just pushing them away. It's just like as soon as like I'm not enjoying a massive part of the job, I've just got to move it on, because I think it comes across. So you just got to change it up.
We don't have like a reception area as such. It's kind of like you just walk straight into the studio. So we've had it where it's like randomers have just walked in. It's like, hi, do you print it? So it's like, we do, yeah. And they're like, they show you a picture or whatever, and it's like it's a photograph, like a proper like photograph that they want on
of their nan for a 80th.
Yeah, it's like, how many do you want? Oh, just the one.
Yeah.
It's like, right, okay. Yeah, no.
I know, it's tricky. I know. That's like, when you're I don't know how long have you done Inky Cow? Because they say setting up, but I don't know how long you've been doing it.
Unofficially, before it was Inky Cow, I was still doing a little bit of printing here and there. But probably about 2.5 years now, I reckon. Okay. Yeah, it's only officially been Inky Cow for maybe 8 months, something like that.
Yeah. So you can still like mold it so that people don't get too used to these to how to use it. Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. Yeah. So let's just round it up with a couple of just quick questions. Like, how are you gonna like start promoting Downcast like more like on social media? Are you gonna like stick to Facebook and Instagram, or I saw that you like registered it on TikTok but you haven't done a video?
Yeah.
Is that something you want to do? Or
that's scared, mate. I'm not gonna lie.
No.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
You guys did do a lot of TikTok, didn't you?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's something I do want to do, but I don't know.
Find it too cringy?
I feel like I'm doing so much. Yeah, a little bit, but it's not the main reason. It's kind of like I've got my hands in so many things in so many pies at the minute. It's just like I don't want to add another thing into there that it's like, oh, we've got to learn. Like, you know, I'm only just getting to grips with fucking Reels, like, you know.
Reels is really good though.
Yeah, I mean, I still know how to use it properly. I'm not going to pretend.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. I think for the time being, and probably the short to mid term, we are just going to stick with the Facebook and Instagram and stuff. You know, we tried Google, didn't go anywhere. It was that's probably
a lot. Yeah.
No, with SEO, marketing and all that. Like,
how do you even
but that's
tell?
probably something. Yeah, it's probably something we're going to do a little bit more with Inky Cow rather than Downcast. But yeah, stick with the ones we know for the time being, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever get on TikTok, then yeah, I don't know. I don't know how you can help promote. We can go live together printing or something.
Yeah.
How you doing? And you're like, someone's walked in or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'll see you on. You're gonna get dragged into it. Everyone's getting dragged into TikTok. It's coming for you. It's got you by the ankles, and it's like,
yeah.
it's gonna lure you in. You never know. Your wife might find it really like her niche.
Yeah, maybe. I might bring that up later, actually. But yeah. Do you want to sort our TikTok out? So, yeah.
Chessie said it was the future.
Yeah.
You can blame it on me. Well, thank you. Thanks for coming on. And yeah, I'm just gonna keep following you. And I love seeing your films or your orders come in. I don't know if you can bring that in house, but it's cool to see. Like, do you know, I only see the films, so it's cool to see like them actually ending up as like proper shirts, and you're actually like.
Yeah, I mean, we started, like, you guys basically got us up and running, like, you know, which I'm going to be forever fucking grateful for, because you know, I had a press but I had nothing to expose screens. So it was like, yeah, I think we got our first couple of screens from you, and then did the positives, and then eventually we invested in a printer. But yeah, that's good stuff.
That's really it. We're trying. Yeah, you've got to be there for everyone's like different part in the life cycle. So something like you might bust your exposure unit and then need a screen straight away or something.
Yeah.
Just a hand on something else. So yeah, never shy away from giving out information, because most people don't get as far as you, do they, Darcy? So it's like you can tell people all this advice, but they never run with it. Whereas you're like the 1% who actually has gone and made something really good out of it.
Yeah, can only try.
Yeah. Cool. And I like your thumbnail as well. That's cool. I'll get that edited up, and I'll give this to Em because I didn't do editing. And yeah, I'll share it in a few weeks. That'll be really cool.
Wicked.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thank you so much. And
no worries. Thanks for having me on.
I'll keep stalking you on the internet.
Awesome. I'll do the same.
Okay. Cheers, Darcy. Bye.
Cool. See you later.